Hello, my name is John, and today we'll be reading Our Life in the Spirit World by Reverend Myung. These are excerpts from many speeches. Reverend Moon, at an early age, traveled throughout the spirit world and is an expert on the spirit world and has spoke many volumes about this. What is life like in the next world? You don't need to worry about what to eat, where to live, or what to wear. Why not? Because depending on your spiritual state, everything you want is possible. You can eat in the spirit world too. When you touch yourself in the spirit world, you can feel your flow and pulse of your blood. Although it is a spiritual body, it feels just the same. When you want to eat, food will be created at once. When you express a desire for something, it will appear immediately. Where does it come from? The spirit world is a place where you can use the power of autonomy to mobilize the elemental resources. We can create everything as if we were like God, the Creator, who creates all sorts of things based on the concept of true love. When out of love you command something to appear, the thing will appear in its complete form. If you say, "That kind of tool appear," it will appear at once. Isn't that wonderful? If you wishfully think, "I need to prepare this kind of meal for the 10,000 or even millions of people who have come to a banquet hall," it will appear without fail. If you wish for a golden formal dress, it will appear instantly. How beautiful, wonderful this is. It is wonderful indeed. When you stand in the realm of loving unity in the position of God's object partner, you can do the things that God does. You can do anything. You can transcend billions of years in an instant. The speed of love is super speed. It doesn't take time for you to visit the place where the person you love resides. You can come and go back in an instant, so you can immediately meet the person you love. There are no obstacles since it is an absolute realm. It is a world that goes beyond limitations and transcends time and space. No one knew that kind of infinite world was prepared for human beings. People came to know these things from the true parents. Do you want to go to the spirit world or not? I may be telling you a lie. Even if it is a lie, if you believe it to be the word of God, and since God has ability to create, you should know that these words are capable of creating things that are even greater than God's wishes. When the devil says, "Hey, God has told you such and such," and you believe in things greater than what the devil has said and act on them, God has plenty of ways to create and make this come true. In the spirit world, you do not need money, you do not need knowledge. That is how it was when I went there. You do not need power. God can create enough money to spare. He can even make stars out of diamonds. He is the absolute being. He is the great king of knowledge. He is the great king of authority. He can eternally and freely exercise his authority at all times, beyond the 4 seasons of winter, spring, summer, and autumn. What could he need? You will know all the thoughts that arise in the mind. You will know them even before they are expressed. Therefore people cannot be deceived. In that world you will gaze upon people who are revealed in your searchlight. You should know how to pass through that light safely without any problem and connect with your original position. This is your lifetime task. If you look at the content of the principle that the Unification Church advocates, you will realize that the spirit world is a realm that we can perceive on the basis of a principled formula. I believe the fact that this principle is revealed will be regarded as a momentous event in history. What kind of world is heaven? It is not a world where people regard each other with animosity and jealousy, turning green with envy over another's fortune or getting upset over someone else's happiness. One person's success represents the success of the whole. One person's joy can be shared by the whole. Therefore, heaven is where everyone can be pleased over any person's happiness, and everyone can join in and rejoice when anyone rejoices. You must invest yourself and then forget. If among 100 members there is someone who is wearing poorer clothes than your sons and daughters, you should not be able to sleep. You should want to give him clothes. That is the heart of God, the heart of the parent. What is the leading system of thought of the Unification Church? It is to have a parental heart, wear the clothes of a servant, shed sweat for earth, tears for humankind, and blood for heaven. What is heaven? It is a world of love to which you bring your children. You receive love and say that you will give it to the entire universe. I love God. I know everything right through from the spirit world to the physical world. What does religion, which should guide people to their original homeland, teach? You should know that it must teach them to live for the sake of others. The higher the religion, the more strongly it emphasizes the importance of living for others. Therefore, we must be gentle and meek. Why? Religion teaches us to stand in a position to lift up many people and live for their sake. It teaches us to sacrifice and serve. Why? It is because religions must train people to conform to the rules of the kingdom of heaven. Heaven is where you live a life of giving. God also has to give. Parents have to give to their children. The parental mind is want to give and give again when you have something better to give. Since the world until now has been Satan's world, evil people have taken the lead in directing nations. Good people, however, have been at the opposite end of this. Nevertheless, the angelic world comes to the descendants who have ancestors with good achievements and tries to cooperate with them. The person they come down to cooperate with is not someone in a high position. Since it could be a person in a low position, we should not just consider people at the top levels of society. Since your ancestors were born before you, they are like the angels in heaven, who in the same way were created first. Since we stand in a similar position to Adam, the fundamental rule is to have your ancestors, who naturally stand in a heavenly position, to support the descendants who are in the position of Adam and Eve. It's simple. However, this must be cultivated on earth. This is not done in the spirit world. You are supposed to cultivate your realm of heart on earth. If you fail your responsibility at this historical point, you will not be able to avoid reproach from all your ancestors, from people living today and from your descendants to come. You are all in a more serious position than any of your ancestors, any person at this time, and any of your descendants to come. I live each day with that kind of philosophy. Since I live with such a philosophy of life and struggle in my battles, God helps me. Because this is happening, my opponents will perish. There is no exception. They have been chased into a corner, have driven them there thinking, it's either you or me. In order to be liberated from their current position, the spirit persons cannot avoid pain without going through people on earth. Since they cannot be freed from their sins, they always seek their earthly dwelling places. They seek out their kith and kin or those related to them and continue to send them signals. Since the spirit world has now moved extremely close, the age has come where good spirits will settle down on this earth. They'll come and live here. To this day, Satan and evil spirits have divided up this earth and taken charge of it. But now the good spirits will take over the earth and be in charge of it. For this to happen, members of the Unification Church must shed tears, sweat, and blood and offer devotion. You should pray with a fervent heart greater than the devotion offered by Christians, and more than that of the Islamic faith, Buddhism, and other religions. You have to be able to say, through the true parents we have become ancestors who can bequeath a new lineage and become a blessed tribe that brings about liberation. Our tribe will be of God's eternal, unchanging household and kin. Then you will be eternally separated from Satan. That is why the Unification Church allows the honoring of ancestors. Does Christianity allow you to perform ancestral rites? The Unification Church should carry on and establish this tradition. This is not a secular tradition. By attending the Heavenly Parent, the Heavenly Kingdom, and the Heavenly Ancestors, a royal domain will emerge, one where we can eternally attend the realm of tribal messiahship as part of the mainstream lineage and bequeath the way of attendance to succeeding generations. All your ancestors in the spirit world are watching the way you live. There is nowhere to hide. They are watching everything. When you go to the spirit world, you are able to see through walls and even the entire earth. We are to go and live in such a world eternally. When we enter the age where the unknown spirit world can be rationally understood, the age of religion will be brought to an end. It would be an age where humankind would believe in God even if they were told not to. This is a great task. Christians say God is a great Lord of judgment, the judge who sends the bad to hell and the good to heaven. If God is a chief justice, is he qualified to be God? He would be a grim God. No one would want to deal with such a God. What God wanted to become was the God of true love towards humankind. As if it isn't difficult enough dragging an empty wagon, God has to drive humankind in reverse. This is not a smooth path. He is dragging us backwards. Since God has to go in the opposite direction, he drags us backwards. Religious people today do not even dream that God could be doing these things. In Buddhism and Christian thought, they think that God is omniscient and omnipotent and free to take life and give life, and can pass judgment by giving punishments and blessings. They could never be so wrong. In this light, amongst the religions, the Unification Church embraces teachings of a higher dimension. Without doubt, is a religion that labors to find solutions. Hence, it is a religion of a higher dimension. Other than the Unification Church, there has never been a religion that is determined to liberate God. Since he is an ideal God who represents the parental position, he does not just sit still on seeing these circumstances. When we think about the hidden heart of parents who would disregard the laws of their nation in order to save their own children, we know it is the same with God. Were it not for Satan, God would forgive humankind and save them. Despite his desire, since God cannot avoid Satan's accusations, then with tremendous regret, he is compelled to accept those accusations. Who understands God's difficult and wearisome position? We should liberate him from this situation. In order to do so, there must be such sons and daughters who can confront Satan and save those in hell. Without doing so, it is impossible. Love can melt the enemy. Love has the power to make even the most disobedient child become a filial son or daughter. Only love has the power to make those who were called traitors surrender and become a loyal servant. This is possible. Therefore, from time immemorial, people have longed to live bonded by love, regardless of a person's appearance. When you go to the spirit world, all this will be revealed. If you raise your head, everything about you appears. The mirror of your mind, the light of your mind would instantly appear. There would be no need to explain. It is like this because you do not know the spirit world. Since I know about this, I am calm, even when the people of this world curse me. I have continued right until now doing things that people regard as foolish. Even if we face ruin together, do not go the way of a betrayer. Even if that befalls us, we will stand in a good position in the spirit world. If you have not been a traitor, you can always prosper within the group of people that have not been traitors. On the other hand, traitors cannot prosper. You may call upon the name of true parents, but have you ever attended true parents? You can stand in a position of attendance only if you can stay up at night later than me. You can stand in that position only if you suffer more than me. Following me, you all became like parasites. The word parasite fits you well, you impostors. There are many like you in the Unification Church. Now this situation needs to be cleaned up. Feeling bitterness about the secular world as I do, I am thinking to purge away those in the Unification Church who just play around and live comfortably. As I must judge the world, I will begin by judging these people. If they do not conform to the way of my teachings, they must be cleared away. This video is a production of the School of the White Crane. I am John Brooker. Please share this video with your friends and family and on social media. May God richly bless you.